Little afternoon coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is, man. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. I see Green Dot Gang is in the building heavy. Salute to my brother Mikey in the building. Raider Rich, CGR, where's the flag? Hug Dizzle, LV Goldie, Alzado. Salute, man. Make sure you guys do me a favor and wipe them feet. That means hit them thumbs up around these parts. Also, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. There's a lot to talk about today. We're going to cover this whole Matthew Stafford talk. It looks like shit may be getting real here very, very soon with the Super Bowl winner, two-time Pro Bowler, 37-year-old Matthew Stafford, you guys. We're going to touch basis on that. We're going to talk about Pete Carroll, John Spytek, and company out there at the Combine. I will be out there shortly as well, and I'm hearing some things. We're going to talk about that as well. Also, man, real quick before we get into it, salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next two deposits using promo code U2150. The fastest payouts in the industry, up to $2,000. You do not want to miss out on this offer, you guys. Head over there. If you're better, nobody does it better than BetUS. Once again, salute. This live stream is powered by BetUS. And real quick, you guys, I want to do this also. I will be flying out to Indianapolis really early Friday morning. I think around 4 or 5 in the morning. We'll be out there hanging out with my brother Stu, man. I know Wasted did it yesterday, and you know I put up some posts and stuff yesterday. I just want to send a major shout out to my brother Stuart Schweiger. You know what I mean? And just tell him I love him. And rest in paradise to Mama Schweiger. You know what I mean? Our brother's out there hurting a little bit, man, out there in Indiana. Just want to send my love and send my condolences real quick to Stu's family, and just say rest in paradise once again, man, to Mama Stu. Real quick, you guys, quick moment of silence for our brother Stu, his family, and Mama Schweiger. Rest in paradise to Mama Schwag. Brother Stu, I love you. See you here in the next few hours, and we're going to have some fun out there. Our plans may have changed a little bit, you guys. I will be flying out for the Combine, but, you know, with everything happening out there, we may skip the Combine and go out to Michigan. Family first. You know, this is a Stu trip now. It's no longer a Combine trip. Family first. So I'm going to try and see what we can do in terms of the Combine, see if we can get some interviews and whatever we can. But once again, man, family first. So we're going to have to pivot and change some things up. So once again, man, much love to our brother Stu. How is everybody feeling here in the building, man? There's a lot going on within Raider Nation, man. This last hour or so, we're going to talk about some news that dropped, which is crazy. You know, it looks like Tom Brady's out there doing his due diligence with Matthew Stafford. I'm going to go over this because, you know, it's actually comedy gold the way Ian Rappaport kind of came in and kind of cleaned things up. I don't know if you guys seen this on Twitter, and I'm going to go over this real quick. Salute to my guy, Jordan Schultz, friend of the show. He put this out there a few minutes ago, you guys. Sources, Raiders minority owner Tom Brady recently hosted Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford at his home in Montana, where they spent time together and went skiing. Brady has been actively trying to convince Stafford to join the Raiders, and discussions are ongoing. Several teams are interested in Stafford if the Rams decide to move him, with Las Vegas believed to be the most aggressive suitor. It's funny because shortly after that tweet made its rounds on Twitter, on Instagram, Ian Rappaport comes out and says Raiders minority owner Tom Brady and Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford ran into each other at a ski resort in Montana. Sources say the meeting was unplanned, was not extensive or in-depth, and did not include Brady hosting or recruiting Stafford, despite reports saying otherwise. So we're getting a little Schultz/Ian violence on violence here on Twitter and Instagram. You love to see it. Salute to Ian Rappaport. Also salute to Jordan Schultz. Let me say this. I understand why Ian did this. You know, a lot of people are going out there and saying that this is tampering, right? And so on and so forth. But Ian Rappaport, let me say this, man. You know, I understand you want to clean this up a little bit. We don't want this to be a tampering situation where we could potentially lose some draft capital or other. Bro, nobody just accidentally runs into each other in Montana, bro. It don't happen. It doesn't happen, bro. Like nobody just randomly runs into each other in Montana. I think I know maybe one or two people that's even ever been to Montana. Like real shit. I got a cousin in the Army that lives out there, and I was on the phone with Stu when he drove through Montana. I think those are the only two people that I know that actually have seen that state actually exists. Ian, I get it. We appreciate you, brother in Raider Nation, for trying to kind of clean this up a little bit for us in terms of potentially losing some draft capital or blah, 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 right? Even though Matthew Stafford was, right, he was allowed to go out and seek a trade. The Rams and Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay and company had an agreement here that he can go out and do what he does, right? So some people may not think that this is tampering. Some people may call it tampering, whatever it is. I just want to say this. Tom Brady is not playing at all, you guys. He's not playing, man. He is not. What Tom Brady wants, he's going to go out there and attempt to get. And I love this. I love that Tom Brady is all in on this Pete Carroll, John Spytek train of winning now, competing now. This shows you that Brady really wants to turn this thing around immediately in Las Vegas. I mean, he was all in on Ben Johnson. That thing didn't work out right. Now he's going all in on Matthew Stafford. And it looks like, and I've spoken to multiple people. I'm telling y'all now, I don't know if you've seen the tweet last night that I put out there. I've spoken to multiple people. There's real legs to this Matthew Stafford situation. This seems a lot more realer than the Sam Darnold situation, where it's easy to pinpoint Sam Darnold to the Raiders because we have a shit ton of money. We have a need for a quarterback, right? Yeah, like you can say Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson because of the Pete Carroll and so on and so forth. This has real legs to it. This has real legs to it. There are a few other teams that are in, you know, the Matthew Stafford sweepstakes, the New York Giants being one of them. It just depends on what we're willing to move in terms of draft capital, right? Is it going to be the first round pick that the Rams want, which they may get, you guys? This is Matthew Stafford. You know, last year he balled out. Think about this last year. Lost Puka for an extended amount of time. Lost Cooper Kupp to an extended amount of time. Injuries, right? The offensive line was shuffling. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of question marks out there with the Rams last year, and Stafford overcame all the obstacles, and they went on a run at the end of the season. They won a playoff game. You know, this guy won with a lot of moving parts out there in Los Angeles, and McVay is a major part of that. But Stafford can still play at a high clip, you guys. He can still play at a high clip. This is a guy that the Rams are going to say, look, you know, this is all boils down to money in terms of Stafford. That's what it is. The Rams don't have a shit ton of money left. You know, I think they have roughly somewhere in that $44 to $48 million range in free agency, right? And a lot of that money would pretty much be taken up for Matthew Stafford. If the Rams want to make a run, and McVay knows this, they got to draft well, and, you know, they got to kind of bring the money down with the quarterback situation. And they think, and there's a lot of reports of Devontae and Aaron Rodgers going to the Rams and pairing up out there, it'd be a lot cheaper. You can get Devontae on a 1 year, 1-year deal. You can get Aaron probably for next to nothing, and boom, you already have that leader, that guy that's been there, and you have your number 1 receiver. Well, let me say this: number 2 next to Puka at this point. Can you imagine what Devontae would look like out there with the Rams not having to be the number 1 guy at this point in his career? Which I think Devontae would like to say otherwise, but Puka's the number 1 guy down there. So it's going to be interesting, but this isn't a 3rd round pick to me, you guys. It isn't. Is that an ideal situation? I would love it. I would love to be able to just move that Devontae pick to the Rams and bring in Matthew Stafford because of what you have to pay him, right? It's going to cost a shit ton of money to come in and restructure that deal and put some more guaranteed money. He has limited guaranteed money left on his existing deal. So it's going to take a nice chunk of change to make this happen. We can do it. We have $100 million. We can restructure Wilkins. We can move Gardner Minshew, save a shit ton of money there. I mean, you guys, I understand that a lot of people are saying, including myself, right? You don't want to spend that kind of money. Well, look, these guys are going all in. This is an all-in move right now. This is an all-in move. And if you can get one of the top 5, top 10 at the bare minimum quarterbacks in this, in the NFL right now, in the silver and black, go add a running back or 2 in this deep running back class, and you already have Jacoby and Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. We could be a force to be reckoned with next year. Real talk, this is an all-in type move, and I'm not mad about that. Once again, I would rather pay Matthew Stafford $50 million a year for the next 3 years than pay $40 million to Sam Darnold for anything. Sorry, I'm not paying $40 million for 1 year production when you can put an extra 10 on that and go get a Super Bowl winning Matthew Stafford, a guy that has been in the playoffs, been there, done that. I would rather pay a 37-year-old Matthew Stafford than a 27-year-old Sam Darnold. Period, point blank, the end. Okay? Do I want the OG? I mean, if I would rather have an inexpensive option. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP, Super Bowl winner for next to nothing. But it sounds like the Raiders are very high on Matthew Stafford and what he can bring to the table in Las Vegas. I'm here for it. Once again, it's not our money. It's the Raiders' money. And we can still make a ton of moves, you guys, even paying Matthew Stafford. We have a full draft class. Now, I don't know what this would cost. Could you throw him a future 3rd and swap firsts, right? I mean, could you do that? I know a lot of people don't want to do that. But if you can have Matthew Stafford, you're not drafting a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward at that point. You can move back from 6 to in that 20s range and still pick up a nice piece in this year's draft. So, I mean, yes, you don't want to swap, but Stafford has potentially 2 or 3 years. I mean, some people think he has even more left in the tank at this point. He had a great year last year. Matthew Stafford is still one of the better arm talents in the NFL, you guys. At 6, if you're not getting a Shedeur, if you're not getting a Cam Ward, what are you getting there? Are you going to get a Will Johnson, a Graham? Are you going to go, bring in a potential Ashton Jeanty? I don't know. But all I'm saying is this: staying at 6, you want to get a blue chip player, but most of those guys are going to be gone at 6 regardless. Let's just keep it a buck, man. Abdul Carter is the best guy in this draft. He'll probably be gone. Trav will probably be gone. Cam Ward will probably be gone. There's a good chance that Shedeur Sanders is out of there. What would you guys rather have, a Mason Graham, a Will Johnson, or a Matthew Stafford? I'm sorry. At this point in my life, I am 41 years old, and Matthew Stafford will probably be the best, if not 1B, to Rich Gannon, the best quarterback that I've ever had in the silver and black in my life. And that says a lot. Rich Gannon was an MVP, went to the Super Bowl. We lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But honestly, would you rather have a Will Johnson, a Mason Graham, one of those type of players, or a Matthew Stafford on this team that could potentially go out there and win you a ton of ball games these next few years? I'm starting to warm up to the idea of potentially moving some pieces in order to bring in Matthew Stafford. And I'm hearing a lot out of LA in terms of, I know Vinny B put an article out there yesterday. He has ties to the Rams. I believe he covered them for years. He put it out there that he's spoken to people and that we are very much in the Matthew Stafford. I've spoken to a few people as well. And I've spoken to one guy that is convinced that the Raiders are the team, period, behind the scenes, that we are that team. The New York Giants are definitely still involved. They spoke to Matthew Stafford and his team Let me not say Matthew Stafford. They spoke to Matthew Stafford's team at the combine, the New York Giants. They're in need of a quarterback, and they're trying to win now, apparently, because this is a win now move for Matthew Stafford. And I don't think the Giants roster is constructed to win right now. They have some talented pieces, Malik Neighbors and, a few guys out there, but they don't have a Pete Carroll in the building. They don't have a Tom Brady in the building. They don't have a Brock Bowers. They don't have a Max. Well, you know what? They have Dexter Lawrence. He's a phenomenal talent at the defensive tackle position. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. But I just think that our roster is more constructed to win now than the New York Giants. Also, no state tax. If this is a money situation, it makes sense for Matthew Stafford to value the Raiders over New York. They will kill you with taxes in New York. Las Vegas, no state tax. It just makes all the sense in the world to go that route. There's real legs to this, you guys. It just depends on the draft capital. And I'm convinced that the Raiders will pay him whatever he wants to come in and be the Raiders guy for the next 2 or 3 years at the quarterback position. So just a heads up. I'm telling y'all now, there's real legs to this. And I'm looking at this as, yes, a lot of people would say Aaron Rodgers because you don't have to give up any draft capital. Sam Darnold, because you wouldn't have to give up any draft capital. But once again, you guys, love what Aaron Rodgers, he had an under the radar type performance last year with the struggling Jets. I have no problem bringing him in as that guy to be the bridge guy, but there's still question marks. Can he get it done this year? He's a year older now. He's, he's over 40. Sam Darnold, can he replicate what he did last year? And honestly, that last game against the Detroit Lions and the last game against, who was it? The Rams. He got exposed. So I have major question marks about Sam Darnold. Now, bringing in Sam Darnold, to me, he would be the best quarterback, that we have in the building right now over Aiden O'Connell, over a Desmond Ridder, which I don't think he'll be here, a Carter Bradley, a Gardner Minshew. He would be an upgrade, but it's just major question marks surrounding him. You know what I mean? So, let me see. Kenny Mack, just imagine Stafford, Wilson, and BPA. Graham. Salute to my guy, Kenny Mack. If we can keep that first round pick, I'm not against that. And the Raiders did speak to Mason Graham out there at the combine, you guys. And we'll go over a list of players that the Raiders have spoken to up to this point at the combine. But we have spoken to Mason Graham, and he talked about his experience talking to the Raiders, and it was really good. You know what I mean? So that is a guy to keep an eye on there at 6 if we do keep that pick. And another guy, Zach Wilson, right? Vinny B put it out there that there's been a ton of chatter about him being connected to the Raiders. Now, you guys, I don't want you guys to worry and think, oh my God, what are the Raiders doing? Blah, blah, blah. His spot track is $3.3 million. So I don't think this is a move. If you bring in Zach Wilson, he's going to be your starter, you guys. We're not going to pay him starter money. This is a guy that you would bring in. Hopefully he can develop, behind a Matthew Stafford or, whoever it is, an Aaron Rodgers. And he's still very young. Still a lot of tread left on those wheels. He's a former first-round pick, number one guy that just hasn't panned out up to this point. But if you can bring him in, really inexpensive deal to be your backup, I have no problems bringing in Zach Wilson. And once again, Vinny B put it out there, you guys, that there's a ton of chatter at the combine in Indianapolis right now about Zach Wilson being tied to the Raiders, and rightfully so. We have a need at quarterback. We may have a need at the backup spot. Who's to say that Aiden is safe? We don't know. It's a new regime to be determined. But I have no problem bringing in a Zach Wilson if he is the backup guy that you could potentially develop to be the guy of the future if Chip Kelly thinks that he can be the guy. He has some mobility to his game. If you watched him at BYU, there's a ton of talent. It just needs to be unlocked. And maybe Chip Kelly could be the guy to do that. Salute to AR on the $5 special. I appreciate you, my brother, so much, man. Thank you. Salute to Larry as well on the $5 special. If there was a year to trade your first round pick, this is the year. Once again, right, a lot of people look at this draft as a weak class, specifically the quarterback class. But a lot of people think that this is just not a great draft class, period. I beg to differ. I think this is a deep defensive tackle group, a deep running back class for sure. One of the greatest I've seen in years. And then there's some sneaky, positional groups, corner, wide receiver, and so on and so forth. But if you are going to make a move, facts, this would be the year to potentially move that first round pick. But I'm all for swapping first round picks. I think it's kind of tough. That's a tough pill to swallow, giving up 6 for Matthew Stafford. It is. And once again, if we're going all in, hey, fuck it. Hey, I'm going to trust Tom Brady, John Spytek, and Pete Carroll over, anybody else that think that this is the wrong move to make. If they make this move, I'm all for it. But in a perfect world, if the Rams are staying firm, standing pat on wanting a first-round pick, I have nothing against swapping those firsts and giving them a future third, or even giving them the Devontae pick to go get your guy Matthew Stafford to compete in year one with this new regime. Salute to AR. If you ever need help with Raiders stuff in SAC, let me know. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you, bro. And definitely salute to my hometown, Sacramento, man. I appreciate you. Dan says swapping first does not make sense. Okay, cool. Give me a reason behind it. Give me a reason behind it. Salute to God family and Raiders for life. If Raiders only want to spend around $30 million on a veteran quarterback, remember the salary cap is going up 20 to 25 mil and going up every year. Let's give that extra to quarterback. Come on, man. Come on. And this is a guy, once again, that is playing at a high level still right now. He had a phenomenal season last year with all the moving parts, you guys, with everything that happened, with that team. Once again, Puka being injured, Cooper Kupp, the offensive line shuffling. There was a lot going on out there, in Los Angeles. And Matthew Stafford still found a way to have a really, really good season. Almost 3,800 yards in the year, putting him at 13 in the league, 20 TDs. He had 8 picks. He had a QBR 64.7. And once again, this was a situation where they had a lot of moving pieces out there in Los Angeles with that offense. There was a tweet somewhere, I got to go find this, of how many games their big time players missed. Puka missed a shit ton of games. Cooper Kupp missed a shit ton of games. I think Cooper missed 6 games last season. Once again, that O-line shuffling around a little bit. And he still found a way to have a really, really good season last year. Salute to God family and Raiders for life. Salute to the 1,200, 1,300 people here in the building. Whether you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, you guys, just do me a favor. Get those likes up, man. Hit those thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Facts, sign Stafford and take McMillan at 6. Okay, Kenny. So what are you giving up for Stafford in this point? Because once again, they are trying to locate a first-round pick. So what are you trying to give up? I mean, do you think eventually they just end up taking a second-round pick, which would be ideal? It would definitely be ideal. Because guess what? Let's just say they take a second-round pick. And we're at 6. We can still trade back, right, and pick up an additional second round, or we can pick up that second round pick again and potentially some extra draft capital also on top of that. So in a perfect world, they would take a second round pick. We extend Matthew Stafford. And if those blue chip guys aren't there at 6, we could potentially move back, pick up a second round pick, and pick up some additional draft capital as well and kind of clean up there. So salute to Kenny, my dog. I appreciate you. Salute to Zahn, my brother, one of the GOATs over here. Appreciate you, King. Salute, salute, salute. Salute to all the new 5 OLV Raiders Network members in the building. Green Dot Gang is growing daily because of guys like David Zahn. Salute, my brother. If you guys want to become a member and you missed out on those, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network. Salute to Rex. Who is Stafford a bridge quarterback for? To be determined. I'm thinking this. If you bring in a Matthew Stafford, I'm assuming Cam Ward is off the board, Shedeur Sanders is off the board. You're not going to sit those guys for 2 or 3 years. It's just not going to happen. I think that's too long. I can see, sitting them for a year, allowing them to kind of get up to the speed of the game and so on and so forth. But I'm assuming those guys are off the board. Now you're looking at a Will Howard situation out of Ohio State. You're looking at a Kyle McCord, which I'm hearing a lot of smoke around his name, the Syracuse quarterback. Looking at those mid-round guys, and I think that potentially, Tom Brady would love a Kyle McCord. I know that Chip Kelly would love Will Howard because of the Ohio State connection. They won a natty together. But keep an eye on Kyle McCord, Rex, if we don't go out and bring in another one in free agency like a Zach Wilson on an inexpensive deal. I can see it. Or maybe they really love Aiden O'Connell to be the guy that can learn under Matthew Stafford for a few years. I don't know. He's still in a rookie deal. But I would assume that they would go get a mid-round guy looking at the likes of a Kyle McCord or a Will Howard if he's there in the 3rd round, potentially. Salute to Rex. Salute to Southern California living. I appreciate you. People prefer to pay a cheaper option over someone who's a winner in Stafford. Didn't we learn from the last 2 seasons? Jimmy and Minshew, cheap equals talk that talk. Salute to my guy, Southern California living. I'm going to say this. If you're going to live up, right? If you're going to live up to we're going all in and we're going to compete, Pete Carroll pun, that's what everybody's been putting out there. Go out there and get a proven winner. I'm sorry, you guys. If you're going all in, Sam Darnold's not an all-in move. He's a question mark. Zach Wilson as the starter is a question mark. I mean, shit, to be honest with you, Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward is a question mark. If you're going to live up to the hype of wanting to go all in right now, there's probably only one or two moves, and that's Matthew Stafford, and that's potentially, honestly, a lot of you guys don't want to hear it, is betting on a 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers to be the guy to get it done in Vegas for us. So if you're going to go all in, this is an all-in move. Shedeur is not an all-in move. That's a future, hopefully he develops into the guy. Cam Ward hopefully he develops into be the guy. Sam Darnold, you're betting on 1 year of production. This, to me, realistically is the only all-in move right now with Matthew Stafford. And I think that's why there's so much truth to what is going on behind the scenes with Matthew Stafford. Salute to Hug. All I must remind y'all of is the Detroit game where Stafford won after destroying his ribs and shoulder and wouldn't come out of that game. That's Raider grit, boys and girls. Salute to my brother and the GOAT himself, Hug Dizzle, with a phenomenal comment right there. Appreciate you, my brother, on a $10 special. Salute, and that's facts. Salute to David Booth. Which running back, if you had your choice? I'm from Idaho, so I have an Ashton GT bias, but what say you? David Booth, I am high on Amarion Hampton. And I think that he can sneak up into the first round, which I'm kind of scared because that's my guy in the second round. But if I'm a betting man, I don't think we go Ashton Jeanty, even if we're there at 6. I know there's a lot of hype behind the Raiders potentially taking him because of Mel Kiper's mock draft and a lot of other people potentially having us taking him there. We're going to run the football a lot, right? I mean, you've seen what John Spytek said yesterday, taking the Philadelphia Eagles formula, building up that defensive line and running the football a lot, right? But I'm going to Amarion Hampton. But if I'm a betting man, I do believe that we end up with one of those Ohio State guys, whether it's Trayvon Henderson or Juckins. I do believe we're going to end up with one of those guys. But I'm an Amarion Hampton guy. And I think that Ashton Jeanty is the best running back in this class. But once again, at 6, that is tough. That's a tough pill to swallow, taking a running back there. But I like him. If he ends up in the silver and black, I'm not going to complain at all. Once again, this is the first time in a long time that I actually trust, the brain trust in the building. I trust what John Spytek, Tom Brady, and Pete Carroll are doing. So if they take GT there at 6, I'm not going to cry and complain about it. You got one of the better players in the draft, if not top 3, top 5 talent in this year's draft. But Amarion Hampton is my guy, but I do believe we'll end up with one of those Ohio State guys. Yes, Mando. Facts, man. RIP to Brandon Jasper as well, one of our guys. Real talk, man. Salute to him, and prayers going out to Brandon Jasper, one of our dedicated, viewers over here who's been watching my channel, Waste's channel, Shield Moore, a lot of the other guys in the nation as well. Watching Mitch's channel, and he's supported for years. Salute to Brandon Jasper. I heard the news yesterday. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was still kind of going over the whole Stu stuff, and I don't want to gloss over losing Brandon Jasper as well. He is a pivotal member of Raider Nation. It just sucks to see that we lost 2 in one day, man. Rest in paradise to Brandon Jasper. Salute to Jason, my dog. As always, I appreciate you, my brother. Stafford sounds good to me. Maybe draft McMillan, and off we go. I like McMillan. I just think I'm just not as high on McMillan as a lot of you guys are. I'm not. I know there's a lot of Drake London comparisons because of the measurables. I know, all the beautiful one-handed and crazy acrobatic catches that he's done, practicing and all the, some of the tape. I just don't want to take McMillan there. I don't personally. I think you can get a Trey Harris potentially in the second round out of Ole Miss. Once again, you can look at the Ricky White III in the mid-rounds out of UNLV, the Nick Nash's out of San Jose State. I would rather go that direction than take a McMillan in the top 10. But salute to you, my brother. To be honest, I'd rather take Jeanty over McMillan at 6 if both those guys were on the board, because we're going to be a run-first football team. So why go get a receiver when you can get probably a generational talent there at 6 with Ashton Jeanty? I would go that direction over a McMillan. Like the kid, but to me, he's a boomer bust type guy. He scares the shit out of me. And, I just wouldn't want to go that direction in the top 10. Salute to my brother, Jason Hunter, man. Just Raiders, baby. Salute to my guy. If we go for Stafford and trade ones, we can get Amika, wide receiver, or Green, the DE out of Marshall, in the first. Still draft Dart or Howard in the later rounds. Dart's not going to be available in the later rounds. He'll probably sneak up to the first round. I think he won't leave the second round. You know what I mean? Howard in the later rounds. Later rounds, what do you mean? Because those are that's a mid-round guy at the bare minimum. I think Will Howard will be gone in the third. The cap is being raised also. This is facts. Salute to my guy. For those who have no idea who he's talking about, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. Salute to my guy, Just Raiders, baby. Salute to Sky High, also on a $5 special. Nav Man, my brother, it's good to see you in the building. SpyTech mentioned Ward, Howard by name, in his combine interview and nonchalantly the quarterback from Colorado. Interesting how he didn't say his name. Look, man, he's not trying to show his cards right now, Sky High. I wanted to kind of go over the SpyTech and Pete Carroll pressers. I had some fun with Pete Carroll, doing the Marshawn Lynch and then walking off. I loved it. But they're not giving up anything right now, you guys. They're not giving up anything. They tried to ask him about Matthew Stafford. He said, well, guess what? He's already on a team. We're not going to talk about, other guys on other teams. So, they went out there and did the politician thing, which is what they're supposed to do. A lot of those questions that were asked to them, they're not going to show their hand. Why would they? Right? But SpyTech has said, once again, they're going to do whatever they can to make this the best quarterback room that they have. He said, whether it's through free agency, whether it's through the draft, whether it's with the guys existing in the building, he's not going to give up too much sauce in these media scrums. You know what I'm saying? But he did mention Ward, which is probably the number one guy on most people's boards in this draft. Will Howard, who has the connection to Chip Kelly. And I think he kind of played around with the quarterback from Colorado because of all the smoke around Shador going to Las Vegas. Salute to my guy, Sky High. Gio, my dog. Graphk, my dude, Stafford would be a good move, but the price has to be right. Zach Wilson as a project backup makes sense. Then a Will Howard type in the mid-round. Strength of this draft is the mid-rounds. I agree with you, brother. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you, man. Salute to you on a $10 special. And, that would be a crazy, insane quarterback room. Think about that, man. You got Matthew Stafford, a Zach Wilson, and then like a Will Howard there. At that point, Aiden's probably no longer on this roster, but that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy, man. That would be crazy. They definitely want to bring in a guy that can compete with whoever it is that's going to be the starter. And I wouldn't be shocked if Zach Wilson was the guy to come in. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people talking about Aaron Rodgers. It sounds like he's a guy that is already kind of pinpointing the Rams if they move on from Matthew Stafford. And from what I'm hearing behind the scenes is that relationship is fractured with the Rams. I could be wrong. My sources could be wrong. But from what it sounds like out there in Los Angeles, that it's irreparable at this point. It sounds like Matthew Stafford wants to move on. It sounds like he feels disrespected by the Rams not ponying up more money in order to keep him around in LA, where he would want to retire there. He would want to retire in LA. He wants to retire around, but it sounds like he wants to be paid on the way out. And it makes all the sense in the world. I know that he's like the second highest paid NFL player of all time, but hey, man, he's worth it. He's worth it. But the Rams sound like they want to go in a different direction and they want to use some of that money in other places. Think about this, man. McVay has kind of a good problem on his hands. You can move that contract. You can bring in Aaron and Devontae cheaper than you would pay, Aaron or pay Matthew Stafford alone. And then you can go get another guy in this draft and still potentially develop Stetson Bennett and so on and so forth. The Rams are in a good spot here. And I understand why they would move off of Stafford if it would cost them $50 million per. Makes all the sense in the world. Oh, wow. Saints general manager. Carr is our QB1. Sounds like they're sticking with that motherfucker. Salute to DC, man. Salute to Flores. Why give up a first when the Rams need to dump that salary? Because you're getting one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Flores, that's why. If that's what it's going to cost, boom. But once again, I'm at the highest, right? That pick swap. To me, it makes sense. If they want a first and we're not willing to give up a first, move back into the 20s. You still got a first round pick and you can still pick up, a great talent there if that's what it costs. But if it gets to a point, you guys, where I don't really think there's a a battle out there for teams that are going for Matthew Stafford. It seems like a two-man race with us and the Giants. You know what I mean? So if it gets to a point where there's not a major bidding war for Matthew Stafford, maybe you can kind of bring those expectations down with that draft capital. In a perfect world, Flores, you give up a third-round pick. In a perfect world, because you have to re-up his contract. But this isn't a perfect world. And this is Matthew Stafford we're talking about. One of the better quarterbacks, even at 37 in the NFL, in the world right now. Michael, and look, there's so many ways that you can structure this deal, right? It's just real talk. It's not gonna cost you $50 million next year. You're right. You're right. There's some things that we can do and finesse the salary cap. You know, we see it year in and year out with every other team in the NFL. So, you know, there are ways to go about this thing where it can make sense. I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried about more about what it's going to cost to bring in Matthew Stafford and what the Rams are going to command in that trade. Salute the God family and Raiders for life. Stafford for a third, AOC, Tyree, and James, cap savings. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. You know, I don't think that's going to happen at all. Andre James, there's some familiarity with Chip Kelly. You know, he played left tackle and right tackle at UCLA. So, you know, under Chip Kelly, I believe it was, what year was that? I think he played mostly right tackle. I could be wrong, but he played tackle at UCLA under Chip Kelly. James's contract is not an albatross, you guys, not something that we have to get off the books. Maybe he keeps Andre James around for familiarity. I just would be so pissed if he ends up going with Andre James at center and moves JPJ to guard. I would be I would be so pissed because I feel like we have an all-pro on our hands with JPJ at the center position. And I understand the familiarity there with Andre James and Chip Kelly, the UCLA connection, but no. And you know James is not going to play tackle for us. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see, but maybe they keep Andre James around. Maybe they keep him around. And Tyree is starting to, you know, come into his own a little bit. That's a lot. You know, AOC, in a perfect world, if you go get Matthew Stafford and you move on from a rookie deal with AOC, I don't think the Rams would want AOC back, though. Honestly, I don't think that he would be a guy on their high on their wish list to bring in for Matthew Stafford. You know what I mean? But Tyree's still on a rookie deal. He's starting to get better. Those wheels are starting to turn a little bit. And once again, you know, if he goes and balls out this year in year 3, and then he goes and gets better in year 4, we still have the option of that fifth year option there. So, you know, I'm willing to kind of be a little patient with Tyree this next year or so, unless it does cost us if they say Tyree is a must in this deal, move on, get your quarterback. But I think Tyree and I think Andre James will be Raiders this upcoming year. Salute to my guy, Sean. Appreciate you, brother. If you guys want to become members like my brother Sean, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on. Sean, my brother, appreciate you. WI, 26 this year. Let me see, 26 first this year, third for number 9, and then trade back to number 6. That's a lot. That's a lot. You're saying 26 first this year. Are you saying swap? Elaborate on that in the comment section, brother. Chef, man. What up, nation? RIP the great tuna. Yes. Once again, man, RIP rest. Raider in peace to our guy, Brandon Jasper, man. Daniel, I swear you plan these lives around my work schedule. Work made me late. I'll take a lap. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to my brother. Let me see. Yeah, Hug. I was about to do it, man. I seen it. It was just a lot of negative. I was like, I was thinking, let him get his shit off for a minute. And then it started to get a little too much. So salute to Hug, the sniper in the building, getting rid of toxicity in the building. Salute to Steel Cage. Swap first for Stafford. Running back with first pick. Guard in the second. Third for Metcalf. Okay. So what? So would you be happy, Steel Cage, if it ended up like this? Say you moved into the 20s, right? Jinty's gone. Would you be okay with taking Amarion Hampton there? You get your running back of the future. You take, let's just say, Donovan Jackson, guard out of Ohio State, Chip Kelly, boom, second round if he's there and available. I think he will be. I think Booker's gonna be the first guard off the board out of Alabama. And in the third, you trade one of those thirds for Metcalf, and you still have another third that you can potentially go on the defensive side of the ball, or even add some more firepower to the offense. Okay, salute to Steel Cage, my guy. Salute to Nav Man, my brother, as always. Real quick, you guys, before I read this super, let's pay some bills. Salute once again, you guys, to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Make sure you head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits using promo code YouTube150. Fastest payouts in the industry, up to $2,000. If you are a bettor, nobody does it better than our proud sponsors over at BetUS. Head over there, tell them Graphk Raiders sent you. Nav, Stafford with the youngster behind him, that's win now and future. Give that mofo his money and let him win in bridge. I like the idea. Talk! I'm getting a lot more open to the idea, and it's really becoming a lot more realistic to be the number one choice of ours right now with Matthew Stafford potentially asking out with the Rams. I'll say this. If Stafford had his choice, you guys, the number one choice, he will remain a Ram. He would remain a Ram. He doesn't want to relocate at this point in his career. He won a Super Bowl out there. He wants to remain a Ram, but it just doesn't sound like it's a two-way street out there with him and McVay, and they sound like they want to go another direction. You know, if the Rams can continue to pay Stafford what his contract right now, his existing contract, he would stay there. He would stay there. McVay would love to have Matthew Stafford come back with his existing deal, because he has, 2 years left on his deal this year and next year, I believe. He would want to stay with the Rams. The thing is, he wants his money. And guess who has that money? Guess who has the firepower to move some draft capital and go get him? The Raiders. No state tax. A couple hours away from LA. Boom. Makes all the sense in the world. And Pete, Tom, and company are selling him on win now. Win now. This isn't a situation where we want to bring you into Vegas and, you just end your career on a sour note. They're trying to sell to him. We're going to win now. And that's to be determined. We shall see. We got a lot of holes in this roster, and I'm excited to see how they're going to fill them, pause if necessary. Full draft class, shit ton of money in free agency. And people don't realize how much money we have the following season as well, you guys. I think we have more money than every team in the NFL the next 2 years in free agency. So remember this. We have a ton of money. We can go all in on a lot of moves this year because of how much cap we have the following year. We have a shit ton of money. Shit ton of money. We're going to have some questions, right? Do we bring back Jacorian Bennett? His deal is going to be coming up, and there's going to be some other guys you got to look at, Jack Jones and so on and so forth, if he's here, this season as well. But we have a ton of money. We have a ton of money these next 2 seasons. This year and next year, a lot of money. There you go, Young. I think it's like $200 million. We have a lot of money, and we have people in the building that have won before. Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, John Spytek won a Super Bowl in Tampa. These guys want to win. These guys are not okay with just sitting around and trying to build this thing in 5 years down the line. They want to win now. And with all this salary cap, paying Chip Kelly $6 million per, that is a win now move. Sorry, you guys. They're not paying Chip Kelly and making him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the world to go out there and have Aiden O'Connell be the quarterback in week 1. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They're not paying Chip Kelly $6 million to throw out Aiden O'Connell week 1 to be the guy. It's just not happening. Pete Carroll did not come back from retirement to have Aiden O'Connell be his guy at the quarterback position. It's just not happening. Salute to Nav Man. Stafford with the youngster behind him. Yep, we read that. Salute to my guy, Nav Man. I think I missed this super as well. Let me catch up real quick. Salute to Nav, my brother. Salute to Rex again. I like Stafford, but you can't give up a first-round pick for 3 years of Stafford. Swapping first is the most we should have. Look, Rex, I'm not mad at that. But let me say this. If we can compete these next 3 years, why not give up a first-round draft pick in a weak quarterback class? If we can compete these next 3 years, that is setting the tone for the future, Rex. If you get a Matthew Stafford in the building right now, let's just say we go to the wild card next year, we lose. The following year, we win a playoff game, right? And then we lose in the second round. We continue to get better. Guess what? That is a culture. You're starting to create a winning culture. I wanted to build this thing the right way. I want to get a young quarterback and have him develop. We still have a possibility of doing that this year. But if you have to move a first-round pick in order to create that culture, those winning ways, and start winning now and have people in free agency say, that's where I want to go, Or a quarterback like let's just say Joe Burrow was unhappy in the next few years. It happens every year, you guys. And he's saying, I love what they're doing in Vegas. They're creating a culture. Get me over there. For this year's first round draft pick, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm sorry, you guys. That is setting the tone. That is setting the tone. So if you move a first round pick this year for 3 or 4 years of Matthew Stafford, once again, you have to look at some of these better players in the league that are going to say, hey, I want to leave my respective organization, and I love what they're doing out there. They're in the playoffs every year. I think I can be the guy to get them over the hump. Matthew Stafford's on his way out. I want to go out there. What's the problem? What's the problem? Honestly, you guys, you know I love Shedeur. I'm a Shedeur guy. If you get him at 6, great. But understand this. That doesn't mean we're going to win now. More than likely, we're not going to win now. We're not. We're not. And then what? What you going to pay Sam Darnold a shit ton of money? That doesn't mean we're going to win now. I don't know about you guys. I want to build this the right way. I can't go through another season like last year, man. And regardless, I'll be here. I'm just saying, like, I can't go through that again. My Raider heart will explode. I can't do that. If I got to give up a first round draft pick to get into the playoffs next year, the next 2 years, 3 years, I'll do it. Because I trust what this brain trust is doing. If this was still a Tom Telesco, and I like Tom Telesco, and Antonio Pearson, we made this move, I'd be questioning everything. I'd be questioning everything. Like, what the hell are we doing right now? Like, we actually have a phenomenal staff, you guys. We have a phenomenal staff that knows what the hell they're doing. And there's a track record there. There's a resume that you can go off of with every one of these guys. Trust them. Trust them. But I'm sorry, man. I don't think a first-round draft pick this year is going to destroy this team if you go get a Matthew Stafford and win the next few seasons. David Booth. CBS presser where Florio asked Carroll, do you plan to mobilize Brady to help close some of these free agents? No. Why would we do that? I love Pete, man. Cutting Pete. I love Pete Carroll, man. I love it. Tag. In a perfect world, you don't pay that much. You don't. But I do believe that Matthew Stafford is going to cost you a nice chunk of change. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about draft capital wise. This is why they get paid the big bucks, you guys. We don't have to make these decisions. If they make the decision, I'm here for it. Because once again, when you have Matthew Stafford in the building, I'm expecting to win now. If you go get Shedeur Sanders, I'm expecting this thing to take some time to build. If Aiden O'Connell goes out this year, I'm thinking at the best, you're putting together maybe, just maybe a 500 team. Right? You go get Matthew Stafford, the optimism is through the roof. The excitement is through the roof. You bring in a Matthew Stafford, there's more Raider fans in the building week in and week out. There's less opposing fans. Matthew Stafford is a win now move that brings the excitement into the nation. It brings the people out. This is just, to me, it's a smart business move and a smart on-field move. But yes, I agree with you. In a perfect world, you don't want to move a first-round pick. Shit, you don't even want to move a second-round pick. But that is the cost of the game. If you want to succeed in the NFL, if you want to win football games, great teams make moves. It just is what it is. And in this weak class, why not move that first if that is what these guys see fit? I'll be honest. I think if the Raiders were just willing to give up a first, I think that would already be like already set in stone. We're already moving. I think the Raiders are probably trying to see, hey, man, take a second, or would you take some future draft capital, so on and so forth. I don't think the Raiders are just jumping out there and saying, take our first. We're desperate. I don't think that they're doing that. I don't. No, it's not another Carson Palmer move. 21, it's not. This guy has won a Super Bowl. He's won playoff games. He's way more accomplished than a Carson Palmer. And we gave up, 2 firsts for Carson Palmer? And he was a little bit, up there in age as well when we made that move, right? Didn't he take a year off or something like that? I know he was kind of at a standoff with Cincinnati at that point, and then they moved him. But we gave it 2 firsts for him. This is not a Carson Palmer situation. Matthew Stafford is way better than Carson Palmer. Way better. Way better. Ramey, MS isn't good. He's great. Salute the Nav. Blow this shit up. Going hot. Spend it. Can't sit on your hands when a dude like Stafford is possible. Plan correctly. That first rounder doesn't matter. Hell, most of our need will be in the trenches, wide receiver, corner after Stafford. Yeah, facts. And, salute to my brother, Scout. Scout will be on the show here, you guys. He reached out to me the other day. We're going to be doing the free agency show here very soon, so stay tuned. I think we're locked in in like 2 weeks. We're going to do a show. But I love that he put a tweet out there that the Raiders are going to be aggressive going out and getting the corner. Once again, salute DJ Reed. I think that he's going to be the move. I think that the Raiders are going to allocate that $15 to $17 million per year and bring in a DJ Reed, Pete Carroll guy, Seattle guy. Keep an eye on that. We're going to make some moves in free agency, but it all starts with the brain of the operation on the field, which is the quarterback position. And I know that Pete Carroll was kind of downplaying it. I love what Pete Carroll says, it's not just the quarterback. You got to bring in the running back, the offensive line. We have to make his life easier. I think Pete Carroll understands how important the quarterback position is. I love that he's kind of downplaying it a little bit. You have to give the quarterback this and that and this and that. It's not everything. No, we know how important the quarterback position is. So expect, a lot to happen this offseason. Salute to Nav, man, my dog. I appreciate you, brother. Rick says Fields is 12 years younger. Yeah, and 12 years less accomplished. and look, I like Justin Fields' fit in Chip Kelly's system. RPO, use his legs. I'm here for it. You guys know that. I've been said that Justin Fields will be a good option. But once again, is that a win now option? Justin Fields has never won at the NFL level yet. And yes, he was on a bad Chicago Bears team. He went 4-2 last year with Pittsburgh, and they benched him for Russ. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to see what he would look like. But, yeah, he's younger. But how old was Rich Gannon when we brought him in, you guys? Wasn't Rich Gannon 37? I could have swore he was 37, 38 years old, and he ended up being an MVP for us. Went to a Super Bowl. I could have swore he was like 37, 38 years old. This can be literally, everybody keeps saying this player can be the next Rich Gannon for us. Gardner Minshew can be the next Rich Gannon. This can literally be the next Rich Gannon situation. Same age. Just saying. Raiders need to pay us fans for dealing with this team. Mando, you ain't never lied, bro. And salute again. Stafford is what Raider fans wish DC was. Facts. Okay, his MVP year was 37. There you go. There you go. So he was 33, where's the flag, when he came in, and he was 37 when he won MVP. There you have it. Replicate that shit. I knew it was somewhere along those lines, 33, 34 when we brought him in. But yes, at 37, he won the MVP. So, amen. Amen. Love it. Love it. Also, you guys, we'll talk a little bit more about the Matthew Stafford stuff. For those who are just joining in, Jordan Schultz, NFL Insider, did come out today and say that, this is verbatim, you guys. Sources, Raiders minority owner Tom Brady recently hosted Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford at his home in Montana, where they spent time together and went skiing. Brady has been actively trying to convince Stafford to join the Raiders, and discussions are ongoing. Several teams are interested in Stafford if the Rams decide to move him, with Las Vegas believed to be the most aggressive suitor. Ian Rappaport kind of debunked that a little bit. He did say that they seen each other in Montana. Ian Rappaport put it out there. Raiders minority owner Tom Brady and Rams Matthew Stafford ran into each other at a ski resort in Montana. Once again, you guys, nobody runs into fucking each other in Montana. Come on, man. Sources say the meeting was unplanned. It was not an extensive or in-depth and did not include Brady hosting or recruiting Stafford, despite reports saying otherwise. So yeah, those guys were just randomly in Montana together at the same time. Make it make sense. So yeah. And once again, salute to Vinny B also for putting out a great article yesterday on the Las Vegas Review-Journal, where he said the Raiders and Tom Brady are trying to recruit Super Bowl winning quarterback to Las Vegas, Matthew Stafford. So, and this is coming from multiple NFL sources on Vinny B's end. Once again, he did work for the Rams, you guys. I think for years he worked with the Los Angeles Rams. He's very well tied and connected to Southern California and the media down there. So there's definitely some legs to this with Vinny B and his sources as well. If you guys get an opportunity, go over to Las Vegas Review-Journal. Check out Vinny B's latest article, Tom Brady trying to recruit Super Bowl winning quarterback to Raiders. Also, there was something interesting yesterday that I want to talk about. It sounds like the Raiders may be returning to Napa Valley, you guys. This would be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful move. You know, we were there from, what was it, you guys? We were there for years. What was it? 96 to like 2018, 2019, something like that, I believe. Something. We were there for many moons. Redwood Middle School. This is a school out there in Napa that the Raiders used to practice at. My mother actually went to that middle school in Napa. For us Northern California fans, this means a lot because Las Vegas is hot as hell during training camp. It's difficult for those guys to go out there and really get this shit off in that boiling heat. Costa Mesa this past season in Southern California. I love the potential move back. You know, Pete Carroll, I believe, let the cat out the bag on a Sirius XM radio, I believe, yesterday. I could believe. I know that there's still some obstacles that they may have to overcome. Salute to Vic Tafer and a few other sources out there that put it out there that it's not just easy to say the Raiders are going back out there. There's some things that have some moving parts there. But if we go back to Napa and they open that up for fans, this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing for Northern California fans such as myself. It's going to give me an opportunity to go back home, see family, and go back to where it started. You know what I mean? At Napa, I was out there for several camps. My uncle used to work for the Raiders every training camp out there in Napa. Salute to my Uncle Ray. You know, he's very close with Napoleon Kaufman, one of his best friends, with their time together out there. So we had access every year at Napa. So I just want to say, man, if this is true, I know there's some truth behind it, but there are some moving parts. Salute to Pete and company for trying to take it back to Napa. Tom Brady, Northern California guy from Redwood City. I know he knows, you know, how much Napa means to this existing franchise, a fan base, especially the Northern California people. I would love it. I would love this. So keep an eye on this, you guys. It sounds like Napa may be a realistic option for us this upcoming season to get back out there in training camp. I know Max would love it. I know all these guys would love it. It's cool out there in Napa. You know, I mean, we get that Bay Area breeze. You know, it's a lot better than being out there in Costa Mesa or even Las Vegas. So salute for Pete kind of talking about it. And Pete's a Northern California guy as well from San Francisco. It'd be a great move. Let me get these supers in real quick. Salute to Rube. Do you think we could bring in two guards in free agency, bring in a Becton and maybe an older, cheaper, but still very good Zeitler? Love Parham, but built to be a center. I think that Parham may be the backup center. You know, I know Andre James is still there, and maybe they can utilize him somewhere else. But if Parham is on this roster, I'm assuming that they may use him as like a backup type center. Me and Scout were talking about that on Twitter the other day. But probably get a better backup left guard, right guard, and center. Could be. I think we get one, and then we get one in the draft. Rube, I think that's the way we go about this. Get one in the first 3 rounds, and then we get one in the draft where we pay, you know, a nice chunk of change, whether it was Becton or Trey Smith. I think it's going to be costly. That market has went up every year with guards. I don't want to pay Robert Hunt money, you know what I mean, for 2 guys, or even overpay for a veteran in free agency. And we'll probably bring in a guy to compete, right? A guy that has started at the NFL level before and let him go out there and try and earn some reps and maybe try to earn that starting spot. But if you're going to pay money, pay one and go get one in the draft, you know, and then we still have a Jordan Meredith. I like what he's done with us up to this point. Maybe he can be a guy that can give you some minutes, if he has to be a starter here and there, can give you some starter minutes. But I wouldn't want to pay for 2 guards in free agency. Pay some big time money for one, go draft one, and then, you know, you still have Parham on the roster. You still have Jordan Meredith and some other guys you could potentially move around. You know, It's going to be interesting to see what they do with DJ Glaze. Did they keep him at right tackle? They move him to guard? Thayer Munford, if he's on this roster, where do they think that he needs to be? Can he move back to guard? I just go one. I'd go one, Rube, in free agency. Salute to my guy, man. Salute the Cap. You want to talk about a move that puts us back on the map? Stafford is it. Just a step below Mahomes, a step or two above Herbert and Knicks. Get a wide receiver through the draft or free agency and watch this offense cook. I couldn't have said any better, man. Salute to my brother Cap with the goal line special, the $10 holla. Raider Rich, this is facts. Make sure y'all wipe them feet and pay your bar tabs and all that good stuff. Salute to Raider Rich. Raider Ryan, my brother. Tony Steakhouse, when you are out in Indy, bomb as fuck. Okay. I don't know what kind of time I'm going to have out there, but definitely I'll keep that in mind. Friday, I believe we're supposed to be trying to go out. Plans have definitely changed now because of the circumstances. But Friday, I believe we were trying to go out there and link up with Greg Olsen, Chuck Pagano, and Lou, the defensive coordinator for the Colts. So I don't know what we're doing now because of the circumstances, but I'll definitely keep that in mind. And I want to go see my brother Paul too. We're talking about, salute to my brother Paul Duracell, one of the upcoming NFL agents. Supposed to be meeting up with him, and maybe Elijah Badger was talking to him in the DM as well. The Florida wide receiver, Sacramento's own. So there's a lot going on, but I'll definitely, if we get a chance to, I'll definitely check out Tony's. Salute the row. Graphk, I'm excited about the fact that Pete Carroll's teams have historically been some of the best tackling teams in the league. Something we have been trash at for years. And Ro, this is another reason why a lot of people in the nation are assuming that Jack Jones may not make this team, or he may be a cap casualty or a trading chip. That's been an issue. DCAM can tackle. Jacorian can get it done. I agree with you, man. I think that this is going to be a fun defense to watch with Pete Carroll kind of looking over Patrick Graham in that defense. It's going to be fun. Salute the row, man. Definitely. Great comment, brother. Great comment. Salute to Terry on a $5 special as well. Marvin said it's not better than Costa Mesa. Bro, you must have never – you got to be a Southern California guy. You are tripping, bro. That is the mecca of training camp, man. Right there in Napa, bro. Stop that, bro. Way better than Costa Mesa. Get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out of here, man. Why are they tripping on Brady running into Stafford when McVay purposely flew to Stafford when he was on vacation to recruit him? Or did they talk that shit, Terry? Talk. Some people are going to make this look like a tampering situation. But once again, Terry, remember, Sean McVay and the Rams gave him permission to go out and seek a trade. Go find partners, find where the fit may be and what that money entails. They gave him permission to do this. So I don't understand why this is a situation, where they're looking at it from a tampering. Well, Tom Brady is an owner now, right? Minority owner. I don't know how this works, but I know Ian Rappaport kind of cleaned it up a little bit and said that, they didn't meet up deliberately to talk shop. I got to disagree with that. I think that this was a very well-planned operation, and I think Tom Brady's going all out for Matthew Stafford. But you're right. You're definitely right. Raider Deb, salute to you, sis. Appreciate you on the $5 special as well. I'm going to love them having training camp back over here. Only a few hours for me. Bowers will be able to be home with his family. There you go. Brock is from Napa Valley, born and raised. Love it. Salute to Deb. Facts. I know I'm for sure going. If they give, well, you know what? I can use my credentials, but I'd rather go as just a fan. I'd rather go out there and just enjoy the experience. I loved as a child being there in Napa. I loved it. I totally loved it. Watching Napoleon Kaufman year in and year out, watching some of those guys on those teams back in the day. I just enjoyed it so much. You think so? You think that Trust falls that far, Ridge? I would love it. I already have us targeting him in the later rounds, 6th, 7th round. But that'd be interesting. I like Trust, the guard out of Georgia. Okay, salute to my guy Ridge back in the building. Ridge, you gonna be at the combine? Or are you staying home? Let me know, brother. Salute to Terry as well. For the love of all things sacred, I hope they don't draft another player and change positions on them, i.e. Diablo, JPJ, etc. Yes. Terry, that's the thing. If you want a running back, draft a running back. Don't go get Liv Bowden Jr. You want a linebacker? Don't go get a safety. Don't go get Diablo. You want a center? Don't put JPJ at guard. Just get him and put him at center immediately. I agree with you. I agree with you. If you want to get a specific position, go get a guy that's very familiar with that position already and run it. Facts plus tax, Terry. This is not the year to do it. Definitely. And there you go, Young. Tanner Muse as well. Facts plus tax. Go get him out of Clemson and convert him. Nasty work. Salute to everybody here in the building. Diablo, Jones, James, Minshew, gone. Bye, Felicia. Divine's a free agent, so he'll go elsewhere probably unless he's just very, very inexpensive. Jack Jones, what does his deal look like this year, Nav? Do you know? I know it's inexpensive because it's a rookie deal, so essentially you don't have to move on from that contract because it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And he's what, a 4th round pick, I believe, 4th or 5th round pick. That contract's nothing. You know what I mean? Andre James, got a new deal with us. I think that they hold on to him. I preferably would move on from Andre James, but I think because of Chip Kelly and that UCLA connection and the, the familiarity, they probably hold on to him. And Gardner's gone. Gardner's out of there for sure. That saves you, I think, $7 million somewhere along that. And then I think I seen a few people stating that if you cut him post June 1st, you save up to $9 million. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's real, but you save some money. Salute to James, my dog. I just arrived and I asked you this yesterday and you didn't answer. Is Napa under the 49? Oh, so you said that, James, on Twitter, right? I don't know how that works out. I honestly, I don't know how that works out. I know they have that San Jose market. And I think what I said on that tweet was how I responded to it was, fuck the Niners. I don't know, but fuck the Niners. So, but maybe that's a moving part of how we have to put this thing together, right? Maybe there is, that is essentially their market now, and we got to figure out a way to get through that and overcome those obstacles. But I don't know yet. But I'm going to say this, Jay, fuck the Niners. I look for every reason in the world, every reason under the sun to say this. Fuck the Niners. So, there's a few things in this world that fall in that top 5, hatred. It's definitely the Niners. They're right there in that top 5. They're actually in the top 3. So, yeah. Fuck the Niners. Salute to James, my guy. I'm from Northern California, dog. Fuck the Niners. Facts plus tax. They can block media from showing footage of camp due to Niners market. They did that to us last year. Yes, they did because of the Rams charges requested it. Facts plus tax, Dan. Salute to my guy with a haymaker. Haymaker. Let me see. Salute to Rosetown in the building as well. Yes, Keegan. Scatterbo is from Rio Linda. Sacramento proud. Did Kelsey retire? I thought he just said that he was coming back. I don't know. I love what Jordan Schultz just said too. I love this shit. Let me read this tweet real quick, you guys. I don't think he retired though. I think that he said he was coming back and looking forward to coming back. Jordan Schultz responded to Ian Rappaport, you guys. This is hilarious. If you really think Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford just happened to run into each other at a ski resort in Montana, of all places, at that exact time, I've got a bridge to sell you. They were together over the weekend. It happened. Multiple teams are interested in Stafford, and Brady has been leading the charge to get him to the Raiders if the Rams decide to trade. Violence! Talk that shit, Jordan. Violence. Love to see it. Salute to Jordan, man. My guy. I love it. Jordan was supposed to be on the show a few times, and we just didn't get an opportunity to settle the date. I got to reach out to my guy, man. He's become one of the top insiders in the NFL, and he's absolutely killing it. I love it, man. I love it. Great response to Ian Rappaport, you guys. I love this shit. All right. There was something else I wanted to bring up as well. For those who watched Spytek's presser yesterday there at the Combine, he did talk about, once again, we talked briefly on the show about it today, about him wanting to build a bully in the ground game and kind of replicate what the Philadelphia Eagles did on the defensive side of the ball. But he did have some interesting things about the running back position. And what I mean with the Eagles is the defensive line. But this is what he had to say about the running back group. You see what the Eagles did this year. Saquon is a different animal, but emphasis on the run game and the physicality that comes with it. For running backs, people get really caught up with speed. If you could find a Chris Johnson that runs a 4.28 and nobody can catch him, great. To me, it's more about guys who have great instincts, great vision, that are hard to get on the ground if they run a 4.3, even better. But I've seen a lot of great ones that run a 4.5 or 4.6, and they set the tone for the team. So we're looking for that. So honestly, you guys, it's not a situation where you got to go get a guy that runs a, sub 4.3 or 4.3. He just wants a guy that has certain key skills in their repertoire. And that is great vision, instincts, hard to get on the ground. I think that kind of spells disaster for Zamir White. What have we said about Zamir these past few seasons? It's been the vision. It's been the vision. It's been, what you don't have that. You don't possess that. It's very Trent Richardson-esque when it comes to vision with Zamir White. But what does that mean to you guys? I see a lot of scatterboos in the building. He's definitely hard to bring down. Rick L, I think that he kind of really Amarion Hampton. I love it. Definitely hard to bring down. Definitely. And he's a guy who's rising up a lot of people's draft boards right now. So did Chip ever have a non-mobile quarterback that perfected his season? I mean, bro, Will Howard's not the most mobile quarterback, and they won a national championship. So I don't really think that you have to have a guy that can use his legs great like that. Like, Will Howard's not the most mobile quarterback. Did he use his legs a little bit out there? Yeah, we went over his stats that he had last season, in that system, some RPO, and, he got loose a little bit, but you don't have to technically have a mobile quarterback in this scheme. You don't. Matthew Stafford is great, man. I know if that's what you're kind of alluding to, Matthew Stafford is great. He will fit in this system like a glove. Love Caleb Johnson as well, DeMarcus. That's one of my guys out of Iowa. Definitely another guy that fits that mold. Definitely. Yeah, Ron Justice, we don't need Lamar to run this system. You don't. Because Matthew Stafford's not going to do it. Definitely. I mean, at 37 years old, even when he was young, this is not a guy that utilizes his legs a lot. You know what I mean? Like, shit, last year he had 30 carries for 41 yards. The most he's ever had was 200 yards rushing in 2016 with the Rams. With the Lions. So, at that age, he's not going to go out there and be running the ball around. Something crazy. Late to the live, I want Stafford. I bet Max would be pumped too. Facts plus tax, Hoppy. I know Max, look, he keeps mentioning he wants a winner. He wants to win football games. Well, guess what? Matthew Stafford has a track record. He's a winner. So why wouldn't Max want other guys in the building that have been there and done that? This is facts. Salute to Hoffy, my guy. And this isn't a situation, you guys, where it's like a Gardner Minshew that it was a winner that went 500 or something with the Colts, or a Jimmy G that got to a Super Bowl when honestly he wasn't supposed to be the guy. Like, Matthew Stafford has always been the guy. Jimmy G was kind of forced to be the guy, injuries and other shit like that. This is a proven winner. This is a guy that has always been the guy at Georgia, the Lions, the Rams. He's always been the guy. So, this isn't a situation, once again, where they're bringing in, former guys that have been winners. And, even with Jimmy G, we all kind of got lost in the sauce with him. Like, he's a proven winner. Well, honestly, he's never been the guy. He's never been the guy. And when he was thrusted into that role, he really wasn't the guy. Salute to Hafi, my guy. Salute to my brother Hammer in the building as well. I seen the missed call. I'm going to call you after the show, brother. I had some things I had to do early on, man. He said that Max grew up watching Stafford. Yeah, man. And Max is from the area, right? From the area. Which guards? There's only two for me, Joe Nation, that I'm looking at if you're going to pay a nice chunk of change. And that's Becton, the Philadelphia guard, that transitioned to the guard spot from the Jets from tackle. And then it's Trey Smith, Pro Bowl year with the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are the two guys that I would pay, a nice chunk of change to bring into to help this offensive line take it to the next level. Those are the two guys I would look at. That's it. And honestly, even though Trey was a Pro Bowler last year, I probably would value Becton over him. He had some durability issues with the Jets, and there was some things that went into that. He's a massive human being. If he says that, look, I'll continue to play at guard, and he's cool with that, and this isn't a situation where he wants to go over, he can get tackle money, I would pay Becton. I'd bring him over. Definitely would, because Trey's going to get paid a shit ton of money this offseason. And I think that New England is going to be willing to pay him an insane amount of money to come out there and be the guy to help block Drake May. Man, salute to Justin Brown with the best comment of the day. Hit that like button or you a hoe. Couldn't have said any better myself, man. Couldn't have said any better myself. Bro, why do I keep getting these emails, bro? I get Sacramento Public Library emails. Bro, I haven't been to a Sacramento library in like 30 years, bro. Take my name off this fucking list. Random. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, you guys, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Hit that subscribe button. Also, salute once again to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over there and get a 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits using promo code U2150. The fastest payouts in the industry, up to $2,000. You guys do not want to miss out on this offer. If you are a bettor, nobody does it better than BetUS. Salute once again to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I owe him some books, bro. I don't know, bro. It's crazy. Salute to CGR in the building as well. Salute. Tell him Graphk sent you. This is facts. Salute to my guy Salazar in the building. Yes, DeMarcus, I will be going to some A's games in Sac. I can't wait. I cannot wait, bro. I definitely will be there at Rivercat Stadium trying to support my team as much as possible, even though I don't even know one player damn near on that roster now. The A's are just a shell of them old selves. It's nasty work out here. Salute to David V, gifting $2, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Real talk. That means a lot to me, man. Salute to my guy. Yo, you stupid, coach. Still got Blockbuster and Hollywood video overdues, man. Facts, man. Facts plus tax. I think I still owe the one on Power In, Blockbuster. I guarantee I kept a few of those. In the Hollywood video on Freeport over by William Land Park, I think I definitely owe them at least a couple hundo for sure. I used to go over there and kill them. There was another Hollywood too on Power In, right across the street from that Blockbuster. Facts. What was the one on Freeport? Awesome video. I think it was Awesome Video. Coach, you remember that? I'm old, bro. I don't know if you remember Awesome Video on Freeport, right by William Land Park. That was the joint. That was the joint, bro. We used to go over there and take video games and never return them shits. Salute to my brother Sean and Ray. Let me see. Salute to AC. What it is, Docs, man, I don't like the idea of giving up draft capital for an aging quarterback. Hey, man, I'm looking at it like this. At what point, right? Maybe, I'm not even going to say maybe. If they go all in, AC, on a Matthew Stafford, they're not sold on one of these guys. They're not sold on a Cam Ward. They're not sold on the likes of a Shedeur Sanders. Jackson Dart, they're not sold on them. If they go get Matthew Stafford, they're saying we're not really high. Do you understand that number one spot is definitely up for grabs with the Titans? Do you realize the Raiders could move up? It's nose ring, y'all. No booger, nose ring, no booger. The Brown spot at 2, we can definitely move up to where they are. I mean, there's moves that we can make to get one of those guys. He's 37 years old, right? They're not, if they go get him, they're not sold on one of these guys. Because they can very realistically go up and get one of those guys if they want them. Bro, Shedeur can be in the silver and black. Cam Ward can be in the silver and black. If they make this move, it shows me that they're not that high on these guys. And all the smoke around Shedeur may have just been that smoke. And all these rumors of us moving up to get Cam Ward was just smoke. So there you have it. Said nose ring, no booger, y'all. Facts. So, we went over the Matthew Stafford situation, kind of briefly talked about the spy tech and Pete Carroll media scrum yesterday out there at the combine. Love Pete Carroll's energy, man. Love when he talks. He just reminds me that we have an actual real head coach. He's so articulate in the way he conveys his thoughts into the world. A real head coach. I got to say this too. The one thing that I realized yesterday was it was a reminder of how loved Pete Carroll was in that Seattle area. He flew out of Seattle to the combine, so it looks like he still lives out there. That Seattle media was all over Pete Carroll in that scrum. They were like asking all of the questions. It seemed as though some of our guys out there and our beat writers didn't really get their shit off because Seattle was just so in command. Yo, boo, just firing shit off because they were asking left and right. It was a lot of Seattle media. That lets you know how loved he is. And it's only a matter of time, you guys, before our fan base falls in love with this guy too. We have adults in the building. We have adults running the show. Spy Tech didn't go out there and show his hand, but he said just enough to kind of reel us in with, we're going to go all out and we're going to do whatever it takes to get this team going. You know what I mean? This just feels so different from years prior. It feels so different from years prior with these guys in the building. DeMarcus is stupid. Zach Wilson's going to lose his mind in Summerlin. That's MILF Central. Also, another guy, Zach Wilson, who was a former teammate of Jackson Powers Johnson. Another guy he grew up with. I know Mama Powers is out there already on Twitter saying, bring him in. We'd love to have him. But yeah, they got him in Summerlin. DeMarcus facts. They got him in Summerlin. They got him in Henderson. They all over the place out there, man. Facts. Salute to Zach Wilson, man, the GOAT. He be ramming shit. Facts. My dog resume is impeccable. Shit. Let me see. I agree with you, Parker. That was one of my favorite actually probably was my favorite quarterback in that draft. I thought that he was going to be phenomenal at the next level. It just the Jets are quarterback hell. And then now, you're in Denver as the backup to Bo Nix. Hey, man. Bang zoom. Facts. But other than that, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hitting that hour and a half mark. We kind of went over everything that we needed to go over. Salute once again to the 1,500 people still in the building. I want to say this. I'm going to end with this. For those still questioning the Max Crosby thing, I seen some report that came out yesterday that the Raiders are not going to take care of Max Crosby and blah, blah, blah. Y'all crazy, bro. Like, I don't know what you guys got out of what they talked about with Max, but once again, this is them saying that they're going to take care of their guy. They're going to take care of their guy. So I'm expecting, I know he's still under contract, but I'm expecting a new deal here soon. I don't think they're going to allow Max Crosby to leave that building. I don't think that they're going to set that precedent in year one the way Gruden did with moving Khalil Mack. I don't think that they want to destroy all this hype that they're building around this organization, potentially moving on from Max. They are 130,000% sold on making Max that guy, that piece, that cornerstone of this new regime in this team. I do not see them moving on from him at all. So somebody put out something yesterday of he wouldn't commit and blah, blah. Man, y'all crazy. From what it sounds like with me, with Pete and John Spytek is they're going to take care of their guy, but they got other fish to fry right now, okay? Free agency's around the corner. They got to figure out what pieces are going to fit what we're trying to do. They have a whole draft class that they have to analyze. Pete and Spytek, they both said, well, let me say it. Spytek said it. This is still new. They're still going over everything. They're still weeks into the process. Pete Carroll was fresh in Las Vegas. Spytek is fresh. They have so much work to do, you guys. They're going to take care of Max, but they still have a whole team that they have to analyze. Is Nate Hobbs going to return? We got to go over that. Is Mary the guy? We need to pay him. They keep saying they're going to take care of their own guys, and I believe so. But they have a whole roster that they have to go over, look at tape. They have a draft class. They have to go over tape. They have to, for a free agency period, where they have to look at somebody. And remember, you guys, Pete Carroll is a year off. You just come back in. Like, I know that Pete has probably watched football very closely, but they have a lot of homework to do. So let's not get upset if Max's deal is not done today or tomorrow. Let's not do that. This is a process. It's going to take some time. They have to analyze what guys to bring back that are already on the existing roster. Then they have to look outside the building and say, well, this guy in free agency moved the needle with us at this position, so on and so forth. And then they have to once again go over a draft that is right around the corner, and we have a full draft class. So let's pump the brakes a little bit with this. If Max deal is not done this today or tomorrow or the next week, they're going to prioritize that. But once again, this is a new regime, new everything. It's going to take some time to put this all together. So once again, you guys, salute. If I don't have a show tomorrow, I will guarantee to be doing a show Friday night at Stu's house with my brother Stu, and I'll try to upload if we do go to the Combine Friday and Saturday, which we should be there. But if things change because of the consequences, and understandably so, I'll try to, get whatever content I can while I'm out there, but family first once again. But we should be there Friday for a few hours, and potentially Saturday. If the service is not in Michigan and we have to be out there, Saturday we will be in Indianapolis covering some ground at the Combine. So stay tuned for that. Once again, love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for pulling up on me and having a great show with me. Because of you guys, this is why this thing works over here at OLV Raiders Network. Wipe them feet on the way out. Hit them thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. And on the way out, if you guys want to become Green Dot Gang, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here. Love. One.
What I'm talking about.